Belmont Bruins are with us. Head coach Casey Alexander, along with student athletes Carter Witt, Sam Orm, and Tyler Lundblade. We're going to have Casey make a statement on the game that was just concluded. Then we'll go to questions for all the Bruins on the dais. Casey, please.
Always a tough moment, especially when coach at a place like Belmont and you get to coach guys that are made of the right stuff and play the games for the right reason and give you a great effort, love each other well, compete hard, expect to win, leave the place better than you found it. It's just never fun when you wrap it up. But I love the competitiveness of our group today. Thought we played plenty hard enough to win the game. When you're playing a great team, which Drake is, you've got to really perform when the game's on the line, and we gave it our best shot. Just didn't get the ball to bounce our way when it had to, and you give them a lot of credit for that. I mean, their approach in the second half, and not a lot different than the first half, but they were just a better team, and we struggled on the offensive end, and just couldn't finish it. So disappointing, but really proud of our group.
Thank you. Questions? Right here in front. Thank you.
Carter, you guys were so good defensively in the first half. When they went to ISO with a lot of starts in the second half, how difficult was it to keep the guy who was the player of the year in the league out of being comfortable and doing what he did?
Yeah, I mean, I think they just kind of spread it out, let him play one-on-one, kind of the top of the key. He made some tough shots, mid-range, and but that's what a good player's going to do. So I think I don't know how many points he had in the second half, but I think we played well enough on the defensive end to win the game.
Stay here.
Tyler, in the second half, you guys had some looks to maybe take the lead, get right back in it, and they just rimmed out down the stretch. How difficult? This team's made so many shots all year. When the finality comes, when they're not going in, how difficult is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I think, we did all we could do to put ourselves in position. We can't control whether it goes in or out. But, we're all really proud of how we fought the whole game and how we, controlled the things that we can control. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't control if the ball goes in or not. But we got good looks. That's all you can ask for. But it hurts, obviously. But there's going to be days where we don't make shots. And we, like Carter said, we did enough to win on the defensive end. I mean, we held them to 57. And it's tough because it's, you're not playing as many possessions against Drake. They control the tempo, but, we did enough, and just unfortunate.
Right there.
Casey, first half, so great. You limit Drake, second chance. You limit them to only 2 free throws in the first half. And then second half, it just kind of flipped a little bit with the turnovers and then their ability to get Belmont into foul trouble early in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, Sturts gets them off to a great start. He gets their first 8. He just earned them. It's not, they weren't defensive mistakes or breakdowns or bad execution or anything like that. It's a great player making plays. And that just kind of gave them some rhythm and some momentum. But again, we just, I think every defensive number bears out a good enough performance to win the game. Even his. I mean, he's sub 50 from 2. He's 33% from 3. He only has 1 assist in the game. We had a different game plan defensively than we've had all year long, and the guys were magnificent at executing that plan. Like, really good job, dialed in with very few mistakes. I think if I could point to anything down the stretch, where there were a small handful of rebounds that we didn't get to finish possessions. A couple of those turned into fouls. Or the ball goes out of bounds on us because we don't clean it up. I'd love to have some of those back. But even there, they get 7 out of their 30 misses. That's a really good number. And so, the game, the turnovers were the game. We have 16 in the game, and we talked about it, against Drake, who's, it's going to be a slow tempo game, by our standards, it's more like a 30-minute game. or a 35-minute game because of the number of possessions that you have. And so a 16 turnovers in a low possession game is clearly kind of what led to our demise.
Harry?
Yeah, Casey, I thought, did you guys do anything different concerning the rebounding? Because your rebounding was spectacular today. And could you just talk about Sam's emergence over these last couple of weeks and even this weekend?
Yeah, nothing different. I think today was more of a product of, we were really helping off of several of their guys. And so, we had feet in the paint when shots went up. And our guys, I thought they made a great effort to rebound. I remember one that Carter had in the first half where the ball bounced long and it should have gone to them, but he made a great effort to keep it alive. It goes out of bounds, they give it to us. Those are winning plays and kind of the mentality that we need to. As far as Sam goes, he's I think one thing we learned about Sam is how much we need him, because our team wasn't the same when he and Drew Sharnowski were out for the better part of 3 or 4 weeks. And a lot of that they were out at the same time. But Sam is kind of always he's a unique kind of calming presence for our team. He's kind of, his demeanor's that way in general, but he never really wows you with anything. But he's really rock steady and just makes simple plays. Seems like always, which is a gift.
Back in front?
This team looks a lot different from last year. Sam, you're the one guy up there who was in this building, though you didn't play last year. Can you talk about the journey that this team has had to get to this place further than any team before? And Carter, you're one of the guys who came in and bought into this in your final season. What did this year mean to you?
Sam, you start us off, please.
Yeah, in the spring, after last season, there was a lot of unknown, kind of with everyone leaving and what the team was going to look like next year. And we found pieces in the portal, and I think we really pieced it together and grew as a whole unit as the season went on, and we were playing our best basketball at the end of the season, which is what you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's been since May, we kind of came together, a bunch of new guys. It's been a fun year, so it's been a great year.
Back on the left-hand side, gentlemen.
Tyler, can you speak to the confidence that the coaching staff and your teammates showed in your shooting ability and how it just kind of grew as the season wore on and how it reflected in your play?
Questions for Tyler?
Yeah, that's one thing that I've talked about before is as a player, you almost transform your game when you have that kind of confidence from the coaching staff and your teammates. And so it's been huge for me, and I'm so grateful for just even going back to the opportunity to even come to Belmont late in the summer. I'm forever indebted for that opportunity. That confidence growing over the course of the year, that's what any player wants, and it's a good feeling, having opportunities to take, shots down the stretch. Every player wants to be in that situation, and so it's, I give all the credit to coaches and players for trusting me and putting me in those positions.
Right here in front.
Just lastly, Casey, just the journey of this season, kind of the same thing. It's been a long 12 months, but this was a pretty good step this weekend, seems like, for this program.
Yeah, I think the longer I do this, the more I definitely appreciate the journey itself. It's you're always trying to win that last game and then try to win another game. But it's kind of the beauty of coaching to me is figuring it out, and that's roster style, culture, staff, and these guys. I told them in the locker room just how proud I was of who they are and how they handled themselves all year long. We talk about being Belmont, and they wore that badge with real pride, and it's a testament to a lot of great players, coaches, and teams that have come before us. That kind of whatever expectation is for winning and behavior on and off the floor, things like that. And these guys really bought into that, took ownership of that, and I'm really proud of these three specifically, but really everybody that was in that locker room. We had a great year. We didn't win as many games as we wanted to, but we had a great year by our standards.
Gentlemen,